You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Welcome to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and a very special presentation of the AllProSim Super Late Model Series. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Tony Trapasso. Joining me tonight for this special treat as we do Twin 75s here at the beach, Mike Damone. Mike, welcome to the AllPro Series, or welcome back, I should say.
Yeah, it's been quite a while since I helped out broadcasting these guys, but they look to put on a show here on the beach. We've seen this track get a little hot, so we could be in for quite the race tonight.
Yeah, absolutely going to be the case. Is right now that it's going to be a hot time on the track. It's a hot time in the point standings as well coming into tonight, as of course they don't. Nope, that ain't right either. Alex Buffini currently sits atop the pile in the point standings. Anthony Danta, Matt Beatty, all right there within striking distance. Corey Rogers, Chris Engel, everybody's right there in the top five. And you got a little bit of separation once we get back to Dustin Blackbeard and Jeremy Bingham. They are tied for sixth currently, but that could all change tonight as we are at the halfway mark of this current season. And, I mean, Mike, super late models at Myrtle Beach, what more could you ask for on a holiday weekend?
Yeah, not only one race, but we have twins tonight, so
yes.
It is definitely going to be some action. And as you were talking about the point standings, I mean, the top 10 in points are separated by less than 27 points, so it definitely comes to play here, especially if you do have this track figured out. You could have a pretty good points day.
Well, right now it's the usual suspects right up at the top of the heap, as Papini and Vanta are both right there within 20 thousandths of each other. So, I mean, it's going to be anybody's race tonight. And the thing is, you got to keep in mind, we're doing 2 races, and there's no spare tires for tonight. Yes, you can put a new set of stickers on for the second feature, but once you roll out for qualifying, you're stuck with those till the completion of the first feature. But, yeah, I mean, this is going to be a fun one. We're going to have the normal qualifying. We're going to have heat races for sure, as hot laps getting ready to wind on down now. There's the checkered flag for the practice session as we get ready to click on over for qualifying. One thing to be noteful of, and we'll touch on it once we get into this qualifying session. You're going to see a lot of get well soon 61s on cars tonight, and I think Angle's one of the ones that's doing that on the 51. And that, of course, is in reference to... Give me 1 second here. There we go. Get well soon, Steve. Steve Wright had emergency throat surgery earlier this week, and all the drivers are sending their thoughts and prayers out to him tonight, making sure he's going to be okay and can get back out on that track before season's ends, hopefully, his fingers crossed, as we do have quite a few drivers right now out on track, as we are going to take a look at one of the top 2 in points, Anthony Danza. There we go. And you can see it right there on the driver info. Get well soon, Steve Wright. You know, a lot of these drivers. Steve's one of the OGs for this series. You know, so to have him missing tonight, it hits.
As you said that.
Hey, don't blame me. As a matter of fact, Jeff Dillon driving Steve's car tonight. One of Steve's backup cars. You know, just to send those thoughts and well wishes out to him, as here comes Brian Hacker, as Brett McCoy out on track, Jeremy Bingham also out on track, and Ken Storkson out on track right now. Currently, Weston Ward sitting atop the heap. Solid run for Weston so far.
Yeah, look at the top 4, hardly separated by anything, as Wilkinson jumps up to P2 right there.
And that was a solid run by Wilkerson, as you know, he somehow slotted it in there. Oh, good grief. As these guys are, you know, they know what the heck they're doing in these super late models, that's for sure. As Storkton on his first lap going to go 15th quick. Still waiting on Jeff Rogers, Trent Smith, Corey Rogers, Zach Coyer, Dalton Collins, and Cody Brinson to all post times in qualifying. A little over 7 minutes left. Oh, hang on to her, Ken. That's going to negate that lap for him. Get it collected. Oh, okay. He's not going to take the... Oh, that was his second lap. I'm sorry. Trent Smith presenting for his qualifying attempt. There he is. Out of Easley, South Carolina. Just up the road here from Myrtle Beach. As, you know, he's the 2022 champion. And, you know, he drives pavement modifieds in the real world. So don't count Trent out.
Yeah, definitely not. And depending on when he started driving, he could have actually driven here at Myrtle Beach before they closed her down, but
he probably did. Wouldn't put it past him. As he goes 16th quick on his first one, you can see just how greasy that track is right now. taking a look at the weather conditions during qualifying, 87-degree ambient air, 59% relative humidity, not too bad. It's not too muggy right now. Cloudy skies, 114-degree track temperature. Get out of town. Why? It boggles my mind how it can be overcast and that hot on track.
Yeah, that's why we're seeing these guys kind of slide around a little bit. It's definitely going to get slick.
1 and 2 seem to be the big problem area right now. As there is Zach Coyer, a 2-time street stock champion, and the fall segment super late model champion of last year. As Corey Rogers out of Medford, New York, is just up the road from me. He's going to go 9th quick. As we are still waiting on, we got 3 left to lay times here, and I dare say, Matt, they're probably going to, or Mike, sorry, I'm so used to working with Matt Metler, but I dare say these guys are probably going to wait to see if that track temperature is going to drop any.
Yeah, they got a few minutes left, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean,
what they do here.
Especially we're only looking at 20-second, 19 low 19s, 20-second lap times. I mean, pole right now 18.81. You take a look at your top 4: Weston Ward 18.81, Brandon Wilson 18.82, Anthony Danta 18.83, and Alex Papini 18.84, and then you got a couple of 18.86s. I mean, this field is tight here tonight. And it's kind of refreshing to see because, sometimes some tracks we go to, as I'm sure you remember, there's guys that'll just blister one and nobody can figure out how they are so fast. Whereas, here tonight, you take a look, you've got your top, give me a second here. Your top 6 separated by less than a tenth.
Yeah, it definitely is something that is, odd usually at some of these tracks because you have that one guy that just knows the track or put in a lot of work and is just lightning quick and nobody can figure it out. But I mean, these qualifying is not really going to matter too much when we start getting into those features. So
right, but if you take a look at the spread, these guys are going to be right on top of each other. It's going to be a short track Saturday night here on a Monday here at Myrtle Beach. And these guys are just they're going to lean on each other. It's short track racing. You expect to have, you're going to be pounded dents out tomorrow morning in the race shop.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we saw the way they were sliding out here just by themselves. So if they start doing sliding around a little bit more with someone on his outside, there's going to be some beating and banging going on.
Oh yeah, no. Nerf is not just for footballs. Nerf can be a verb too, folks. As again, we're just waiting for those last 3 stragglers to try to lay times here tonight. But the good news is everybody is going to make both 75 lappers. As I did the quick car count, what they're going to do is their finishing order of the heat races are going to determine your starting order in the feature, and they're going to invert the top 20 both times. They're going to invert for the first 75, they're inverting the top 20. Then based on the finishing order of that race, they're inverting the top 10 for the final race tonight. So if you're confused, don't feel bad. So am I, and I'm supposed to announce this.
Well, we'll see what happens once we get going here, because depending on the finishing position, if you're close to getting, inside, the top 5 or whatever, and you don't feel like you can quite get there to, first or second, maybe you back off a little bit in that first run so you have a better starting position in race 2,
Yeah, but it's all about the points at the end of the day.
That's true.
Dig for everything you can, especially with some names missing here tonight, which we'll go over a little bit later. And these guys are bringing it right down to the wire as far as... And the track temperature is going up. Awesome. I just never understood the iRacing algorithm. But the good news is, with it, let's bring that weather back up. With it being a little after 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we're going to be finishing under the lights. So this track is going to go through some major changes by the time the final checkered flag flies tonight.
Yeah, that track temperature should go down, and it will change quite a bit. Hopefully.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Say a novena for it. But looks like if you're not going to present for qualifying, you're not going to get a time in qualifying, as Brinson, Collins, and Rogers all electing to skip Q session. As Weston Ward sets quick time tonight with an 18.81. And as we get right to it, there we go. Here is... Yep, here is the 24 starters in this heat race. As Weston Ward, 18.814, 1/1000th of a second better than Brandon Wilkinson. That is row number 1. Row 2 is going to see Anthony Danta and Alex Papini, two guys that have been at the top of the point standing since this season had started. Row 3 is going to give us Brian Hacker and Jeff Dillon, Christian Angel and Jeremy Bingham in row number 4. Row 5, Corey Rogers and Aaron Hicks, with Nick Ramberg and Justin Blackdeer rounding out the top half of the field. Mike?
Yeah, and then you go to Chris Reardon and Brett McCoy in row 7. Row 8 is Trent Smith and Gleason Smith. Kenneth Storkson and Zach Croyer in row 9. Row 10, Rick Ward and Chuck Chambly. Mac Vaddy and Dalton Collins in row 11. Row 12 is going to be Cody Brinson and Jeff Rogers.
So apparently we're trying to skip this heat race.
That's what it sounds like.
Nobody's gridding up, so... All right, then. Well, while we were waiting for that, we're going to step away, pay a couple bills, but don't worry, in case something does happen, we're going to go side by side. We'll be back right after this. And we are back at Myrtle Beach. Let's take a quick look at the starting grid for the first of the 75 lappers. Chuck Shambly going to start up on point. Rick Ward to his outside. Row 2 is going to see Zach Coyer and Kenneth Storkton. Gleason Smith and Trent Smith in row number 3. Row 4 is going to see Brett McCoy and Chris Reardon. Justin Blackdeer and Nick Greenberg in row number 5. And rounding out the top half of the field is going to be Aaron Hicks and Corey Rogers. Mike?
Yeah, there you go. Back to Jeremy Bigham, Christian Angel, Jeff Dillon, and Brian Hacker in row 8. Row 9, Alex Papini and Anthony Danton. And then you go to row 10, Brandon Wilkinson and Weston Ward. And it looks like 21st and 22nd are going to be Matt Vade and Dalton Collins there.
When starting shotgun on the field, going to be Cody Brinston and Jeff Rogers, since they did not lay times in qualifying. And just as I say that, nope, you're absolutely right. Jeff Rogers, the last one to grid up for this one as we get ready to turn them loose here for the first of two 75 lappers. Is Shambly electing to take an EOL. So that is going to hand the lead of the race over to Zach Coyer. There is no real Geico restart zone, but that stripe that they just passed over, that's your restart. So something to be mindful of. As the lights go out on the Chevy Silverado pace truck, the official pace truck of iRacing. Here we go for the first of two 75 lap pieces here tonight. Coyer and Smith on the front row. The 13 of Coyer going to have the button. As the pace truck peels on off, the only thing that's left for me to say is it's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, grab the barbecue because it's time to get it on the Cackalax. Race fans, it's show time!
Zach Coyer out.
Oh!
Ooh, the one.
Oh, that didn't take long.
It's like Brett McCoy went around.
Danta collected in that one too, as well. Let's take a look at what happened to the ace of McCoy. There he is on the inside, third row. Green flag's going to come out, and these guys are going to be hauling the mail into turn number 1. And like Mike, like you and I have already talked, turn 1 is sketchy right now with how hot it is. Oh, hip check.
46 there of Chris Reardon. Looks like he just came down and sent the one into that inside wall.
And it looks like Anthony Dance's got a lot of damage on the left front of that car. Let's take a look at what happened with him. And apparently this is what brought out the yellow flag. Three wide into turn number 1. Not usually a good idea here. Oh! 2 minutes boarding on the 56.
Yeah, they went 3 wide almost immediately after that start-finish line, heading into turn 1, and nobody was making it out of there.
Nope. And that started at the front of the field, too, as McCoy was 3 wide when he got turned. So that didn't take long at all. Place your bets tonight. If you're playing the at-home drinking game, I wonder if you truly cherish life. For those of you unfamiliar with the at-home drinking game, you take a shot of an adult beverage every time a caution comes out.
Well, that was that was quick for our first one.
They didn't even make it out of turn 2.
No. I mean, I assumed we'd see a couple incidents there in 1 and 2 because of the way it was working even when they were just, practicing, but that was pretty quick. Everybody a little bit antsy to get going here in this first of the two twin 75s, and that brought out the caution almost immediately.
Lights should be going out on the pace truck this time by. Yep, there they go, and here we go. And it looks like we might be going single file. Yes, we are. Just to make sure we don't have a replay of the initial start of this race. So Coy are going to have the button. Gleason Smith, Chris Reardon, Zach Blackdeer, and Nick Rayberg rounding out your top 5 as here we go, getting ready to put lap 6 in the books.
Courier gets a pretty good jump out to already a quarter-second lead with Gleason Smith and Chris Reardon. Justin Blackbeard and Nick Rayberg side by side there. Still side by side.
Rayberg in the 71 being scored as the 23 here tonight. But letting that outside lane eat right now, and with as slick as it is on the racing line, I can't say I can fault what Rayberg is doing.
Yeah, definitely not. He's staying up there and he's making it work. The 46 of Chris Reardon is slowing down just a little bit, and it looks like he gets spun around, selects the 22 of Justin Blackdeer as well.
Good grief. Well, let's go back and take a look at that one. Little bit of a tail wag out of the 46. The double deuce of Blackdeer going to get a run on him going into 1. Okay, that's what happened. It looks... We're going to take a look from the eye in the sky here at what happened with Reardon. It looks like he may have had some help off the 71.
Yeah, I don't know if the 71 touches him or just takes that air right off the spoiler there.
We're about to find out. There's slight contact, but it was right in the braking zone, right as you... Oh, man. He just annihilated that crossover gate. But yeah, he got into him right into the braking zone, and unfortunately Reardon got down into Blackdeer, and they both went around. So with that, we're immediately under caution number 2 now. As everybody's starting to pit farm their cars. And Mike, I forgot to look. Do they have a fast repair tonight?
Let me take a look here. They do not.
Well, that would explain why everybody is trying to pit farm here in the first of 2 75-lap races tonight. So double points on the line tonight. So this is part of their... I just lost my notes. This is part of their red, white, and blue series. This is the air quote white race here at Myrtle Beach. There's going to be 3 of these races throughout the season. All 3 are twin 75 lappers here at the beach. And I had the opportunity to crew on a car for the USAR series back when this track was still active, and I'll tell you, it's actually a nice facility for a short track, and I use that term short track lightly. We're just a little over a half mile, but this track race is so much bigger than it is.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, you had the regular NASCAR Busch series when it was around. Come here back in 2000 was actually the last race here, but they've been around for quite a while, and you had every sort of vehicle basically race here. So from dirt clear to the Busch series. So
and a lot of NASCAR drivers got their start here. As a matter of fact, Dale Jr. This is one of the first tracks he ran at. As the pace truck is in, Coyer has the buttons. Smith going to start to his outside in the 5. And they jump on the loud pedal, and we are back underway as they're side by side for third.
Yeah, side by side, third, fourth. The 3 kind of checks up that inside lane, kind of stacks everybody up behind him.
Here comes Jeremy Bingham up the inside. A little bit of a wiggle out of the 39 of Hicks. Still 3 wide. This can get it sorted out, boys.
Looks like that inside lane keeps checking up just a little bit, causing kind of like that, chain reaction, and then somebody to get going again on that outside. But almost 3 wide again here.
With the track as slick as it is, I can't really say I blame them for checking up that inside lane, because they want to make sure they can keep the car under them and not clobber who's on their outside. Sideways for the 5 award, coming off of 2.
Up 3 sideways now after getting checked by the 39 there. Like the 39 and 3 just kind of tried to be almost the same spot, same time.
Yeah, there was a lot of cars getting involved in that one, and we're going to take a look at this one again. This is Trent Smith in the 3 on the top shelf. As he's just going to get light contact from the 39, and then dominoes.
Yeah, nowhere to go for the rest of the field back there.
Chuck Chambly in the 25 caught a huge piece of that. It's going to pop off in front of him, and he wastes absolutely no time going to the pits. Not sure why. It didn't look like he hit anything.
Yeah, it looked pretty good there.
There's an Angel catching a piece as well in the, keep your eye on the 51 on the low side. Ooh. Yep, he just got sent up the track.
Yeah, nowhere for those 2 cars to go that were in that high lane. And it just kind of barely caught the right rear quarter panel of that 51 and sent him up the track.
As we're going to take a look at the eye in the sky here. Anthony Danta, unfortunately, got caught on the inside. But the 61 and the 51, they were door to door there for a little bit. And then there goes trouble, and yep, Danta collects a piece of it for the second time tonight. And just like that, we earned a caution number 3. And again, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us in the live chat tonight. Let us know who you're pulling for, and we'll try to highlight your favorite driver as the night wears on, as we're going to have plenty of racing action to cover here this evening.
Yeah, we definitely will. These guys are going to hopefully get these cars under them and start putting on a show here. I mean, they're still side by side, and they're running pretty well there.
Fingers crossed. So we got everything sorted out. Finally, everybody playing nicely so far anyways. As we got some battling going on back here around Alex Papini in the 39. As you can see it, Get Well Steve Wright on the hood of that car. Steve, of course, normally pilots the 61. Oh, 17, hang on to her. There's Corey Rogers getting the nerf as, that's a white knuckle moment.
These guys are sliding all over this track. Looks like
Crap.
caution is out again. It's like towards the back of the field there.
Yep, Brett McCoy's one of them. Let's take a look at what happened here. Nick Reinberg catching a big piece of that one from the looks of it, too. Yeah, it's going to pop off in front of him.
'71 sideways.
You see this. So what happened to Ryberg? Again, Ryberg in the 71 being scored as the 23. And 3 wide is never a good idea. And, he catches the curb. Caught the curb and then just got run over from behind. We're going to go back and take a look at that one from the eye in the sky. You're going to see the curbing on the exit of 2. Kind of try to keep you off the grass back there. And, yep, he catches those hyper dots. And boom goes the dynamite. And the 51 just dog piles in.
Yeah, it's not like a regular, curb, because it has those, a flat spot in between each of those bumps, so it kind of gets
they call them hyper
tire
dots.
off. Yeah, they get that each tire off at a different time, so it's easy to spin around pretty quick.
Yeah, it's almost like the you hear us mention it on the road courses where they've got the sausage curbs. They're almost like a round sausage curb. They're up there. As a matter of fact, if you parked a car next to them, you could see them there in the foreground. That little bump is higher than the sidewall of the tire. And with as low as these guys are trying to run these cars here tonight to get all the downforce, all it takes is just to look at those things wrong and you're going around. Looks like choose cone in effect. Lights are out on the pace truck. And Papini electing to take the outside front row. All right, then.
Well, he's been running that high side quite a little bit, but, I mean, it's also where we've seen most of the cautions kind of come out there as the pace truck goes in. Zach Croyer with the button once more. See if Papini can hold on to that outside lane or if Croyer's going to get that jump he's got before. Papini gets the jump.
Papini timed it just right as they're beating and banging on the low side as... Oh, crap. Well, that didn't take long.
It definitely did not.
You're going to see the restart. That inside lane's going to stack up right around the 2 number 5s on the low side. And 3 wide does not help things.
Yeah, no. 3 wide before the start finish line going into 1. That, I mean, we've seen it happen.
Check yourself,
I mean, yeah.
Chambly, just a victim of circumstance, guessed wrong. This is exactly what he saw here. And you're going to see the 56 dive low, and they're 3 wide up there. 56 hip checks to 17, and Chambly thought he was clear, and no, and you can see just how high those hyper dots are.
Oh, yeah, you can.
going to see if we can get the high-speed drone out there. Thanks, Sarah. Get well soon, Steve Wright. You know, all the drivers pulling for him tonight here at the track. You know, Steve had a couple of throat surgeries earlier this week to take care of some problems, so, you know, let's break it down as simply as we can. Steve's an OG, and we miss him. So, Steve, if you're watching, we're thinking of you, bud. Get well soon. And it looks like we might be going single file, Mike. Race control not happy as we're not even at the halfway mark. And we're already working caution number 5? 6?
Something like that.
5.
Yeah. And they're definitely not happy because after this we have 75 more.
Yeah, exactly. Katie, bar the door. As the lights go out on the pace truck. And yes, we are going single file. So Papini, Coyer, Rogers, Smith, Ward, your top 5, Danta, Wilkinson, Hacker, Vady, and Hicks rounding out your top 10 as we currently sit. And remember, we are inverting into the second one of the 75-lap features tonight.
Yeah, Papini has the button this time. Doesn't have to worry about timing it just right. Gets around that corner, and he is down on that loud pedal. Gets out to a half-second lead already in a race almost by himself up there.
He is, as Ward and Smith going after each other now.
Battle of the fives out there on track, it looks like.
Smith on the top shelf, Ward on the bottom. Oh, the 56 of Wilkinson on a charge as he's beating and banging on Danta. Currently, fast lap of the race belongs to the 56. Of course, he's had fast time in qualifying too, so not a big shocker there.
No, it definitely wasn't, and it looked like he had the run down on the inside and elected to back out as he started to slide up the track just a little bit, but now he's back putting that charge on Danta there, and he is still side by side for the moment.
Danta hanging tough on the top shelf. Oh, Hacker got all sorts of sideways behind him. Gets that thing collected back up as Rogers and something's going on with the 13 of Coyer as he is dropping quickly. He had a big wiggle coming out of 2.
Yeah, it looked like he was just stuck up high and got on the gas a little bit too soon. Maybe he used up his tires a little bit, and he's like, I better save them for the end of this race.
We've had 5 laps under anger.
I know.
Now he's got to deal with Anthony Danta. Danta makes the move up the inside, and the 13 is not happy on that outside. Uh-oh. I just heard something go boom.
Nothing showing up here.
Meanwhile, back up towards the front of this thing, Papini shows the way. Rogers and Ward right there in tow. We're working lap 42 of 75 here tonight. Oh no.
Brian Hacker.
Looks like the 7 of 80 may have been involved in that one too. They were duking it out there for a little bit. It's Hacker in the 2, Vady in the Yeah, that'll do it every time.
Yeah, looks like Vady gave him a little tap on the rear bumper there. and sent him around.
That's exactly what it looked like. It looks like Ward caught a piece of it as well. But nothing major there. Let's go back and take a look at that one from the iRacing blimp. And you see a lot of 61s on cars here tonight, folks. Again, Steve Wright, get well soon. But there's the initial contact, and then 39, the other 39 gets into him and finishes them both off. And just like that, we are back under caution. Alex Papini shows the way. Corey Rogers up into second place. Weston Ward, good recovery drive for him. After having to start deep in this field. Currently he sits plus 17. Of course, your race leader is plus 16. So, you know, those two guys have had speed. So,
Yeah, definitely have had speed and have been able to avoid some of these incidents on track. So they've been able to keep that car clean, and once they got towards the front, they've kind of been the clean racing has been towards the front. They don't have to worry about guys sliding up and getting loose or anything in front of them either.
Yeah, fortunately, that seems to be the case. You know, and that's how I always looked at things. You know, if you're gonna start anywhere, start as far forward as you can, because you know it's less likely that you're gonna step on your own junk than have somebody run you over. And it looks like we might be going single file again. As we are working currently, yep, we're going to restart on lap 49 of 75. So 26 laps to go when we do take green. As the pace truck peels on off in the middle of the backstretch, Papini has the button one more time. Brings him into the 3-4 complex and swings that car down, jumps on the loud pedal, and just like that, we are back underway. Ooh.
We're almost, I'll say we were getting close to being almost 3 wide there, as the 5 of Weston Ward was looking to the inside of Corey Rogers there, but just elected to back out just a little bit. Now Gleason Smith is looking at Brandon Wilkinson there.
I think Wilkinson was looking at Smith because he was the one that started a little bit further back. So now Wilkinson into the top 5 for the first time tonight, getting a good run. As we are 25 to go this time by. And don't forget, we are going to invert after this this first 75 lapper. As now Ward looking to the outside of Rogers going into 3 and 4.
Yeah, I definitely think if you're going to go to the high side, 3 and 4 is a lot better option than 1 and 2, the way we've been seeing 1 and 2 been run throughout this race here.
Yeah. Trying it on the inside, trying it on the outside, gets the door slammed in his face. Wilkinson sideways coming off a 4, gets it collected pretty quick though. You can see it on the back of Wilkinson's ride. Get well soon, Steve. As, again, you know, one of the OGs. Wish he was with us tonight. 25 of Chambly having trouble there.
Looks like Chambly slid up into that wall and got it collected again and trying to just stay out of his own way, it looks like here right now.
It's Justin Blackdeer working the inside of him. Good recovery drive for Blackdeer so far. As there's Beatty going full send. Everybody's kind of single filed out, playing nicely so far. Ooh, 17 of Bingham looks like he may have gotten into the wall as here comes Dillon to his inside.
Looks like Dillon's gonna take that. Oh,
No, he's not. He almost
Nope,
got into
just-
those hyperdots.
just as it was looking like he was gonna get that run, he had to check up before he hit those hyperdots there, and now he's falling back behind Bingham again.
Bingham letting it gets into him that time. How he didn't send that car up the track, that's pure talent right there. As Dillon and Bingham still slugging it out. Now this is your battle for the final step of the top 10. Basically, they're racing for pole position in the next race. And right now, Bingham has it. Dillon wants it.
And Dillon got a little loose there coming off of 2 there.
Oy.
Looks like Brett McCoy's trying to close in on Dillon here.
He's starting to try to stick his nose in there, but I mean, McCoy's had some problems tonight, so this is a solid recovery drive for him so far. As we check back up here, that is a slugfest between Gleason Smith, Anthony Danta, and Zach Coyer, as we are 16 laps to go in this first race. Danta just hounding Smith.
Yeah, it looks like in 3 and 4, Danta gets right to his rear bumper. We'll see if he's going to do that this time by again. Not quite. Looks like Smith is a little bit faster that time.
Let's take a look and make sure here. As there we go. No, Smith had him that time. And Smith's going to have him covered this time, too. No, he didn't. Danta actually picked up 36 thousandths that time. But Danta's also got to worry about Zach Coyer, because Coyer, he'll come up and bite you at any time. You leave that door even a whiff of ajar, and he'll go through.
Yeah, kind of wondering what happened to Coyer as he was running up front for quite a bit of the race.
Oh!
Until, whoa.
Danta got into the wall. Coyer absolutely nowhere to go. Just plows him.
Wow. That was a
shot.
Wow. What I was going to say is Coyer was up front leading the race until Papini got by him, and then he all of a sudden went back to like 10th, and now he's driving back up through the field, currently sitting 6th.
Currently sitting 6th is Danta. He's got problems with that 051. Luckily, they're going to be able to get all that. He did it again. Danta just continues to fall back.
It's like he doesn't have any roll through the corner.
Keep your eye on the 051 of Danta here. Something on the back straightaway is causing that car to get into the wall. Now, I mean, yes, he's got a lot of right front fender damage to begin with, but... Oh, okay. Went a little too high coming off of 2 and got into those marbles, and the front end just washed on him. As we are 7 laps to go, and now Danta is recovered and going after Rogers. This is your closest battle on track for 8th and 9th. Rogers currently sits plus 16. And Coyer, we're under caution.
Coyer went around there.
Let's take a look at what happened to Zach. You see just how much of a mess the right side of that car is. And he just barely kissed one of those hyperdots, and it unsettled the car just as he was trying to put the coals to it. Let's watch that again from the iRacing blimp. You see all that front end damage. That was from when he got into Danta. And right there. Just kiss those hyperdots, and that's not where you want to kiss them if you're going to ever kiss them.
It gets loose, spins him around, and we are going to be set for a green-white checker, it looks like here.
We might possibly be going into overtime. Yep. That we are. The lights would have had to gone out on the pace truck that time by for us to get a natural green-white checker, but looks like we are going into overtime. So Alex Papini, Corey Rogers, Weston Ward, Brandon Wilkinson, Gleason Smith, Aaron Hicks, Anthony Danta, Jeff Rogers, Jeff Dillon, and Jeremy Bingham rounding out your top 10 as we currently sit. And there it goes. 2 to go now, 3 to go. Yep, we are going into overtime. Want to thank everybody for joining us here on this Memorial Day weekend here at Myrtle Beach for the AllProSim Series Super Late Model Series, part of their Myrtle Beach Red, White, and Blue Series. This is the second of those 3 races. And we've seen a lot of carnage already. And Mike, unfortunately, I don't think we're done seeing the carnage tonight.
Definitely not, as we still have another, the other twin of this feature here, so...
Oh, I just mean in this feature, we're not done.
Well, that's probably true as well.
Place
but
your
it looks
bets.
like there's...
half the field's going to the backup car for the second feature.
I think you're probably right there.
Well, here we go. Vipini has the button. Pace truck is in. Green-white checker finish, attempt number 1. Fires right in the middle of 3 and 4. And oh, they are slugging it out behind them.
Yeah, Weston Ward was all over the back of the 17 of Corey Rogers there. See if he's going to be able to catch Rogers here, as the 56 of Brendan Wilkinson's also right there. So these 3 are going to be battling out pretty hot and heavy as we take the white flag. So we are official now.
We are racing back to checkers, and they're still beating and banging for second and third and fourth. Bring us home, Mike.
Alex Papini is going to win the first of the twin features here at Myrtle Beach. Corey Rogers in second, Weston Ward hangs on for third, Brandon Wilkinson in fourth, Gleason Smith in fifth.
Well, that didn't take long at all, as we are going to take a look at the finishing order from that first race. Papini, Rogers, Ward, Wilkinson, and Smith, your top 5. Hicks, Danta, Dillon, Rogers, and Bingham, your top 10, with Brett McCoy rounding out the top half of the field. Mike?
Yeah, Matt Vady is in 12th, Christian Angel, Justin Blackdeer, Kenneth Storks in the top 15, Chuck Chambly in 16th, Zach Croyer, rough drive to finish 17th, Rick Ward, Chris Reardon, and Brian Hacker, the top 20, Nick Rierberg, Trent Smith, and then Dalton Collins and Cody Brinson did not take the flag.
As we are doing a special salute right now, missing man formation apparently. Nope. 4 wide salute for Steve Wright, wishing you were here, buddy. As you can see, all these beautiful late model cars. A lot of teams did go immediately to the backup for the feature. 4-wide salute to the fans on Memorial Day weekend. Can't think anything more fitting than that.
Definitely not. You have the top four there with that 61 either on the roof, and then you have the get well soon also there as well. So
absolutely is. Now they're just going to start beating and banging on each other because why not? Have some fun with it.
They didn't have enough fun the first 75 laps.
Apparently not. So
see if
let me just see if and of course he is not. So I think what we're going to do is we are going to reach out now to the chief cook and bottle washer here for the AllProSim Super Late Model Series, Jeff Dillon. And Jeff, special night here tonight.
Yeah, it is with everything Steve Wright has been through the last couple of weeks here. Yeah, it's kind of cool that I think it's probably 7 of us out here that are running either his car or his paint job with our numbers on there. Something's getting well, Steve. So it's a pretty special night.
Well, there's a ton of cars that we can't go by the roof number because they've got 61s up there in tribute to one of the OGs here in the AllProSim series.
Yeah, and I know I'm the worst one there for. I just stole his car file and 52S 61, but yeah, it's Steve's been around for a long time, and he works hard and does his best out here, and it's hard. This is a really competitive league, and it can be disheartening to not be able to hang up these guys. But some of these guys are like the best out there in iRacing. So, and he works his butt off, man. He's a super nice guy. So yeah, anything we do to try to show him some support and give him something to laugh about here and there will be definitely help out.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, we saw a lot of 61s and get well 61 out there during that first feature. What can we expect out of the second one with the track temperature starting to drop just a little bit?
Yeah, hopefully, definitely more grip. At least the lap here around and warm up. It felt like I had more grip. So hopefully a little less tail happy. And I mean, normally it's the opposite here. Only if it's less grip, we get spread out. But you saw in the first race that didn't happen. But hopefully that more grip will hopefully mean more patience that we'll kind of use for this time around and and not wreck so much. But and a quick also thanks to Steve. The only reason I know 52 is because of him. He gave up 52 to me a few years back. So again, a shout out to Steve for swap numbers for me like 5 or 6 years ago.
Absolutely. But Jeff, we'll let you get back to it. Best of luck to you in the next race.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
So that was the chief cook and bottle washer here in the AllProSim series. It's Jeff Dillon, our chief admin for the series. And Mike, I mean, what more can be said? A lot of guys showing love for their fallen brother tonight.
yeah, definitely. It's amazing to me how much racing can bring people together. I mean, these guys are from looking at it, it's all over the East Coast at least, and they still, they might not have met in person or anything, but they still, can show their appreciation and, well wishes for one of the guys they race every week.
That's the one thing that I've loved ever since I've joined the iRacing server is whenever somebody's having issues, and I use that term only because I don't like using other terms about it, but whenever somebody isn't having a good time, they lose a family member or somebody gets sick, iRacing drivers and families and teams and crews are some of the first to jump in. Hey, how can we raise money to help? And even if it's just a tribute race to lift somebody's spirits like tonight, it makes me happy to be part of this community.
Yeah, definitely. One of the first races I can remember is one of the drivers from the Sunday Night NASCAR, Brian Ternowski, when he lost his wife doing that tribute race. That was probably the biggest support I've ever seen on this service, and I can't wait to do more of those because it brings money and awareness to different things, but it also, these guys just go out there and have fun too.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the one thing that I've been proud since day one of this company, back in our formative years, if you will. Anytime somebody had a tribute race that they needed done, we always went above and beyond to, try to bring some noteworthiness to the cause. And, we've done our parts. And I'm glad to see that has continued with SRM, that, we've all continued to do our part to, try to bring awareness to the different causes out there. And, the people that we've lost, and the people that, need the help. So, and with today being one of the last days of this month, Mental Health Awareness Month starting to come to an end, let's not beat around the bush. It is Memorial Weekend, and it is that weekend where we pay homage to the brave men and women of the United States Armed Forces who are no longer with us. And unfortunately, I know I mentioned this last night during the SNN broadcast, but we are failing our veterans with 22 veterans a day, unfortunately, losing their battle to self-harm, whether it be PTSD, survivor's guilt, whatever you want to classify it as. That's the one thing we need to do in this country is better mental health awareness for our vets and get them the help that they need. And through that, you can go to mission22.com, and they are there for our veterans to help get them the help that they need.
Definitely, Tony. That is one thing that we can do. A lot of times it's hard for them to talk or anything, but you can support an organization like that, and they will do everything they can to try and help the veterans that need it.
Absolutely. As the timer getting ready to wind on down here in the warm-up, last-minute adjustments being made to these super late models here at Myrtle Beach, getting ready to turn them loose for the second 75 lap feature here tonight. Again, double points on the line. Pardon me. As we will be back next week at another historic Southern track, Hickory. 125 laps at Old Hickory. And then to close out this current season, Milwaukee, Lanier, and Iowa. And then we go into the summer break for the July 4th weekend. And Mike, I hope to have you back in the booth for the King of Cali series, getting ready to fire off on July 10th.
Well, we'll see what happens with that. I should be available. Monday nights are usually reserved for the kids' baseball and stuff, but I was able to take advantage of the holiday weekend and join you in the booth here tonight.
Absolutely. Is Jeremy Bingham and Jeff Rogers going to start it from the point here tonight? Jeff Dillon, Anthony Danta in row 2. Row 3 is going to see Aaron Hicks and Gleason Smith. Brandon Wilkinson and Weston Ward in row 4. And row 5, Corey Rogers and Alec Papini, with Brett McCoy and Matt Vady rounding out the top half of the field.
And you got Christian Angel and Justin Blackdeer in row 7. Row 8, Kenneth Storkson and Chuck Chambly. Zach Croyer and Rick Ward in row 9. Row 10 is Chris Reardon and Brian Hacker. Row 11, Nick Ryberg, Trent Smith. And then Dalton Collins and Cody Brinson. We'll see if they elect to take part in this 75-lap feature.
I'm not even sure if they're still in the session.
Yeah, I was going to say over or under the guys that elected to jump out after that first one.
Well, I mean, you know, it is almost 10 o'clock here on the right coast, and I know a lot of people have done some festivities, shall we say, over the weekend, and you know, this is generally an evening of recovery because most of us got to go back to work tomorrow. But Bingham going to have the button as he's got the lone Pontiac in the field. As the lights are out on the iRacing pace truck. Getting ready to go 75 laps here again at Myrtle Beach. Take a quick look at the weather. Track temperature's dropping. It's right at the century mark now, so we've dropped almost 20 degrees since we started. But as the pace truck peels on off in the middle of the back straightaway, Bingham has the trigger. Rogers to his outside. The only thing he's left to say is it's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, grab the barbecue because it's time to get it on in Myrtle Beach. Race fans, it's showtime!
Bingham gets a pretty good jump. Jeff Rogers hanging tough on that outside. The Jeff Dillon stays down low side by side for second. They go. Danta drives down behind Dillon. And we are under caution.
Crap. Christian Angel upside down. What happened,
That's
Chris?
a bad day.
You think? Let's take a look at what happened to the 51 here. See him coming down the back straightaway on the inside. He's got the 25 to his outside. That's Chambly. They just, oh my.
That explains how he wound up on his roof.
Yeah, let's watch that again. So the 51 and the 25 are going to get together on the backstretch. There's the green flag. Everybody playing nicely so far. And just one of them racing deals. One was coming up, the other was going down, and it's a basic physics lessons, folks. Two solid objects cannot occupy the same moment of the space-time continuum. Chris Reardon catching a piece of it, Zach Coyer, Keith Storkton, Trent Smith all catching a piece of that one. But yeah, that was interesting. Not in a good way either.
No, definitely was not. Looks like we're probably going to go single file here as I don't even know if they completed one lap there.
They did not.
So.
Matter of fact, they didn't make it out of turn 4 to complete that first lap. Because all that popped off at the pit entry gate. So Bingham going to have the button. Rogers in second. Dillon, Danta, and Hitch rounding out your top 5 as we currently sit. Trent Smith back there in the 3, currently your biggest mover at +7. As the pace truck is in, Bingham has the trigger. He locks, cocks, fires, and we are back underway.
Gets a pretty good jump there. Jeff Dillon down to the inside of Rogers, and side by side they go for P2 once again. Didn't take long for that battle to heat up again.
Dillon flirting with those hyperdots on the exit at 2. Luckily keeps it pointed in the right direction. They are still door-to-door for second. Rogers getting a little bit better run. Dillon dives it into 1, though. And don't look now, but here comes your QuickTime Award winner, Brandon Wilkinson. as he is all over the back bumper of Danta.
And Wilkinson's trying to find a way around Danta. He went down to the inside, elected not to take it 3 wide right at that moment, but looks like he might be headed there this time by.
Well, he gets to the inside. Danta gives him room. As Dillon gets by Rogers. Now Rogers in the crosshairs of 2 of the fastest cars during all night so far of Danta and Wilkinson, as they are all over, and they're 3 wide. Wilkinson wisely backing out of that one.
Yeah, Wilkinson looked like he had the run, but got to that corner a little bit soon, backed it up, and they are still trying to push their nose in there, make it 3 wide once again.
Oh, hang on to it, Anthony Danta. How did nobody hit him? I mean, I'm not disappointed, but I'm impressed.
I have no idea. The last time we saw somebody go sideways, they got T-boned right away.
Yeah, they did. As that battle for third still rages on. Wilkinson now to the inside of Rogers. Gets the better drive off of 2 and up into third goes the 56. As Corey Rogers and Hicks going after each other now.
And Rogers gets a little bit better run there. See if he's going to be able to clear him, and looks like not quite.
Almost had it.
That's 39. Backs out just a little bit, but looks like he's going to fall into the clutches of Alex Papini here momentarily.
Well, the 039 of Rogers, he's got Papini all over his inside, so 39 on 39. As they're trying to reel in the 7 of 80 now. As Danta and Rogers going after each other for 4th. Don't look now, one of our biggest movers from that first race, Weston Ward, all over the 92 now. It's a 92 caught up on the top side. It's their battle for second place. Wilkinson and Dillon, they make that one look easy. It's Ward and Rogers still going after it. And right behind them, Smith and Rogers are going after each other.
And Jeff Rogers hasn't had a break in challengers here, as everybody was trying to get around him. Now it looks like he might have a minute to kind of cool down a little bit before Gleason Smith gets to him.
And it's now Corey Rogers in the 17 looks to the inside of the 5 of Gleason Smith. Guys are leaning on each other. Still door-to-door for 7th place. And Matt Vady's back there going, guys, give me a hold because Papini's coming.
Now he's trying to figure out which one's going to be just a little bit faster so he can get out of the way and put Papini back one more spot, but...
Well, Papini's already behind him. It's just the fact that, Vady's got to get an opening if he's going to go, because the last thing you want to do is be in the crosshairs of Alex Papini.
5 there gets loose, Gleason Smith.
We went up the track. That's going to open the door for both Vady and Papini. Say that 5 times fast, I dare you.
I have a hard enough time with Rogers, and Smith.
Yeah, I know, right? Battle for the lead as Wilkinson gets to the inside of Bingham, going through 1 and 2. And just like that, new leader.
Yeah, Wilkinson, one of the fastest cars we've had on track in qualifying and in that first feature. Back up front where he qualified anyway.
Currently has quick time of the session 18.82. So in race trim, setting up times that still would have put him on pole. Good grief. It's now Danta going after Bingham for second place. You got to give Bingham credit, though. He's hanging in there. And he's had some speed the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, Bingham's hanging in there pretty tough right now. Last lap was about a tenth slower than Danta, so Danta's definitely going to be able to make a pass here momentarily if he can just get enough room.
Well, looks like Bingham's might hanging have tough it
there.
Here. Yeah, Bingham's sending it going into the corner, trying to maintain pace because he knows once Danta gets by, Dillon's going to go with him, and here comes Dillon up the inside, right behind Danta. And there's still... Bingham has not given up one iota.
No, he is definitely hanging tough out there in that high lane. I think if he can either let Dillon by and get down before Weston Ward gets there, otherwise Weston Ward's going to have his sights set on Bingham as well.
Doesn't look like he's going to be able to because Ward is right there. And there's less than a car length between Dillon and Ward. Yep, too late.
Yeah.
Throw a blanket over your top five right now is, well, as I say that, Wilkinson and Danta have stepped out because of this battling going on back here for third. And then we've got some good action going on back there for 6th, 7th, and 8th as both the Rogers boys and Beatty start to heat things up.
Rogers are side by side right now. Beatty trying to pick a line there. See if he can get either one of the Rogers to push forward just enough so he can make a run and get another position here.
Well, I mean, hats off to iRacing when they updated this car. They did make it so that you can bump draft a little bit now, rather than as soon as you got into the back bumper of somebody, their rear axle was coming off the ground. As there goes Corey on Jeff, Beatty, and now everybody's single file right there as we are working lap 31 of 75 here tonight from Myrtle Beach. As this is our closest battle on track for 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, and 10th. With Gleason Smith right there as well.
It looks like Beatty's going to get to that inside lane, and Papini's going to try and shove him on through.
And that's the thing with Jeff Rogers. He has not been comfortable on that outside lane, and he just has not been able to catch a break, to get down low. Oh, hang on to her.
Ooh.
A little beating and banging through 3 and 4. Papini now to the inside of Rogers going into 1. And here comes Gleason Smith.
Papini just gave a little bit of a bump, and they both were able to keep it straight, but opened up that hole enough for Papini to go through. And Gleason Smith is also going to try and do the same thing momentarily.
Now, if you're a young racer, take note of what you just saw. That's how you bump and run. It's not hit, wreck, and drive by. It's just give them a light tap, let them know you're there, maybe unsettle them just a little bit, but not enough to wreck them. I mean, that was textbook.
That was just enough to let Jeff Rogers know, hey, you need to move up a little bit. I'm faster and you get out of my way.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly the case. As now, Rogers continues his backslide as Smith, and now Aaron. Hang on to her. Gleason Smith, all sorts of sideways coming out before. That's going to let Aaron Hicks get to his outside. And now here comes the 5 again. 92
Rogers
into the wall.
Yeah, I was going to say just into that outside wall. Just a little bit there. Got to give Jeff Rogers credit, though. He has not been comfortable at all running that high line. And he keeps getting forced a little bit higher and a little bit higher, and he's still hanging relatively tough, still inside that top 10 right now.
Yeah, he is. He's actually the last car inside the top 10, but you've got a very hungry Aaron Hicks. You've got an even hungrier Trent Smith back there. Trent Smith in the 3, currently your biggest mover at plus 10 after starting shotgun on this field in this race.
Yeah, Trent Smith had a rough first 75 and looks to improve on that this time.
Flirting with the top 10 so far. As these guys still run stem to stern as we're 35 to go next time by. As, oh, here we go. 17 on 17 crime. It's Bingham on the high side and Rogers on the low side.
Corey Rogers just able to get by there.
A little bit of a gap up to fourth place, Weston Ward. As these guys have been going after each other for the last handful of laps, it's let those top 4 kind of get away.
Yeah, they got a couple seconds here before they catch up to them.
As Weston Ward and Jeff Dillon going after each other for the final step of the podium. Working lap 43 of 75 here tonight. Thank you so much for making this part of your Memorial Day weekend. I'm Tony Trapasso. He's Mike DeMoney. And you are watching Sim Racing Media, and we are so happy to have you on board with us tonight as we are under caution. And it looks like
Trent Smith, Justin Blackdeer, Aaron Hicks.
Let's take a look at what happened to Blackdeer. As unfortunately, I think it's going to pop off in front of him with Smith. Oh, there it is. Oh, no.
And slid up into Blackdeer there.
So 3 gets just a little bit of a wiggle, and just all that momentum carried Hicks. He was on the binders. And unfortunately, Blackdeer nowhere to go, just clobbers him going into 1. Doesn't look like a lot of damage on either of those 2 cars, but Trent Smith immediately decided, yeah, you know what, I'm done, and puts it on the hauler.
It looks like he will join Chris Reardon, Chuck Chambly, Zach Croyer, and Christian Angel, all elected to call it a night.
Yeah, unfortunately, but for what it's worth, we still have... where are we here? Still have 14 cars still running. 14 on the lead lap. Just those lappers are done. Joining Brinson, Reinberg, Collins, and Hacker, putting them on the haulers early. But Wilkinson is going to have the button this time for the first time tonight after setting quick time. You can see the message on the back of Wilkinson's car. 51 strong, get well soon, Steve. And if you're watching this, either in the replay or the live, if you're watching in the live chat, give us a hashtag 51 strong in the live chat. Let Steve know that you're caring about him. And if you're watching this in a replay, just go ahead and leave the comment hashtag 51 strong.
Get a double file restart here.
We had a good long green flag run there, and hopefully we can bring it home from here.
Yeah, if you were running, 4th, 5th, 6th, you definitely wanted to see this kind of stack back up the field, get Wilkinson and Danta back with you. Wilkinson has the button, and he is down and away.
Oy.
Danta slides up.
Danta
and
got
gets almost
moved.
4-3 wide. Oof.
The 5 award got into him and jacked him up just as they were coming to this line. Luckily, everybody kept him collected. And we're back with Rogers and Bingham leaning on each other.
Rogers and Bingham, and then Dillon and Ward just in front of them as well.
Ward finally wrestling that spot away from Dillon. It's now Corey Rogers filling the rearview mirror of the 61. Beatty finally gets a shot at Bingham. Papini just biding his time, knowing that we've still got 25 laps to go. Be 24 at the line. And Beatty having a little bit of connection issues.
That is definitely not something you want to see if you're Papini there right behind him.
No, not really, because next thing you know, you go to make the move, and next thing you got a driver in your passenger seat. And there is no passenger seat in this car. Rogers looking the inside of Dillon going in 1 and 2. This is your battle for 4th. Hot and heavy right now. Dillon hanging tough on that outside lane as Rogers looking up the inside. And this has been a bottom feeder track here tonight, unfortunately, Mike.
Yeah, it definitely has. You can see how close those guys have been running on both corners, trying to get as close as they can to that bottom line, and it seems like it just barely prevails. I thought with the track temperature coming down a little bit, we might see that high line start to come in a little bit, but not too much right now.
Unfortunately, no, as the track temperature is finally down under the triple digits. Almost 20 degrees cooler than when we started. But, still, unfortunately, we're not far enough into the twilight for that track temperature to really be a big effect. As we are now 20 to go, it'll be 19 at the stripe as Brandon Wilkinson almost half a second to the good over Anthony Danta, who's got another half a second over Weston Ward. But the battle right now is back here 6th and 7th. And 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th with Beatty, Bingham, Papini, Smith, McCoy, and Rogers.
Yeah, it definitely looked like Papini was getting a little frustrated there as he has not been able to get by Beatty and Bingham there, but Bingham gets pushed out of the way a little bit, and now Papini has his sights set on Beatty there.
Well, he's still got some time, but he's going to need a caution if he's going to want to get to the podium, as these guys are already 2.5 seconds back off of 3rd place, Weston Ward. Papini looking to the inside of Beatty, coming off a 2. And just sends it going into 3. Just flirting with that inside retaining wall. And Matt, or Mike, I don't know how many laps you've turned here, but that inside wall going into 3, it can sketch you out if you're not used to it.
Definitely can, as you see Papini get a little bit loose enough to slow down before he slides into Beatty there, but still gets the position away.
Papini up to 6th, Beatty back to 7th. There's now Gleason Smith all over the back bumper of the 7. Meanwhile, battle for 3rd still hot and heavy between Weston Ward and Corey Rogers.
Yeah, they've been tangling together here for the last 5 or 10 laps, and neither one's really given an inch. Looked like Rogers was trying to get his nose down to the inside, and Weston Ward just shut it off pretty quick there.
And you can see just how much rear brake bias these guys are using, because those rear rotors are just almost on fire going into 3. As a matter of fact, let me see if we got a camera there. Nope, we're not going to be able to see that too well. We can't really tell there, but we might be able to tell from here. Yeah, watch those rear rotors when they get into the corner. at how cherry red those things get. That's an oof is right.
Well, or 11 laps to go here for Wilkinson and Danta. See if Ward or Rogers has anything for the top two.
Well, they're starting to chip away at Danta, but Wilkinson is starting to pull just a slight gap. As we are 10 to go. Wilkinson, Danta, Ward, Rogers, and Dillon, your top 5 right now. As Wilkinson, your quick time award winner after qualifying. A thousandth to the good to get that quick time award. And currently is your biggest mover at +6. I think your biggest mover in the positive direction, anyways. So we got 15 cars still running, and all 15 are still on the lead lap. So that's impressive in itself here in 75 lapper at Myrtle Beach. As 7 to go, Wilkinson and Danta still show the way, and Danta's starting to chip away at Wilkinson.
I got inside that 10 to go, and looks like Danta might have found another gear in that car as he's starting to close that gap on Wilkinson. Maybe Wilkinson was getting a little too comfortable there, riding long out front, but see if these guys can, what type of show these guys can put on for the last 6 laps here.
Well, handshake. The handshake lap is out. 5 to go. And that time, Wilkinson clawed back 25 thousandths. But Danta is still right there within striking distance.
Yeah, one little mistake from Wilkinson and Danta will be all over him. Ward and Rogers could kind of settle down a little bit back there in 3rd and 4th.
Well, they've got it figured out. You know, I think Rogers is trying to cool his tires off just a little bit to have one final push here, as we are now 3 to go. Wilkinson showing the way. Danta still hounding him. Wilkinson starting to claw some of that lead back.
Two to go now.
Popsicle sticks in the air. Wilkinson continuing to show the way. Down the back straightaway, still with a good head of steam, as Rogers going to have 2 more shots at Ward. And it's coming out of turn number 4. White flag is in the air. Wilkinson takes it. We are racing back to checkers.
We are. Wilkinson down the backstretch, has a little over a quarter-second lead, and looks like he is going to have just enough here to hold off and win the Myrtle Beach White Series race here at Myrtle Beach for the AllProSim Super Late Model Series here.
It was a great drive, as you saw. Coming there to the checker, Danta sent it going into 3 and just was not close enough. But there you go, Brandon Wilkinson. Get well soon, Steve. 61 strong on the 56 here tonight, as we are just waiting for him to get into the Discord server. But I mean, Mike, it was a little shaky going through the the first race, but this second race, these guys put on a show.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, between the fact that the track temperature went down and these guys probably got a little bit more comfortable in the car itself, that second half when we had 2 really long green flag runs and everybody was pretty much able to do almost what they wanted with the car. So
Yeah, and you know, it was good to see the the close door-to-door racing that we saw in this second one. You know, once the track temperature, I can English, I promise I can, folks. Once the track temperature started to fall, you know, these cars really woke up, and you know, you could go on the attack or you could go on the defense and not have to worry about taking out half the field. And you know, that's really, it's refreshing to see, especially with, you know, we had two cautions in this feature, and both of them were single car incidences. Actually, I take that back. One was a multi car incident that put Black Deer on his roof, but you know, other than that, I mean, this second race is exactly what we were hoping to see all night.
Yeah, it definitely was. They were able to put on a show, and you know, basically the fastest guys in qualifying want to be in the fastest guys at the end of the race here.
As again, we're just waiting for any of our podium finishers to get into the Discord. Doesn't look like they want to right now. So you know, let's go through the finishing order here tonight. Brandon Wilkinson, Anthony Danta, Weston Ward, your top three. Corey Rogers and Jeff Dillon rounding out your podium, or sorry, rounding out your top five with Papini, Vady, Gleason Smith, and Brett McCoy, and Jeff Rogers rounding out your top 10. Mike?
And then Jeremy Bigham, Justin Blackdeer, Aaron Hicks, Kenneth Storkson, Rick Ward round out the top 15. Then you go back to Trenton Smith, Chris Reardon, Chuck Chambly, Zach Croyer, and Christian Angel of the guys who started this second feature here.
And Mike, I think I've got some good news for you, because I believe you've got our race winner with you now.
Hey, Brandon, how is it going, man?
Wow, a little better now than the first race, but yeah, going pretty good.
Well, after qualifying on the pole, starting kind of back in the field in that first race, what were your thoughts after seeing the way that first race went coming into the second one?
It's just par for the course. We got a little bit too much damage early in the first one, so I figured I'd just kind of riding fourth, and I knew Alex was going to be really hard to get by. Usually, even if you are faster than Alex, he's tough to get by. So just didn't need to push it. Kind of just saved for the second race, and obviously the rest is history.
Definitely, you guys definitely put on the show the second half. How is it running two different races, you know, when you guys do put on these twin features? Different than just running a single race, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely different. My driving style is a little more relaxed. I kind of like the 150 laps, especially with no tires. That's kind of my deal. I need at least like 90 or 80 laps to kind of let the race play out, but just a little different. You know, you gotta be up on it every lap. So we did pretty good tonight, but you know, it can always be better. So
awesome. Well, anybody you want to thank before we let you go?
yeah, of course, all the guys at the posse, Epic Media. Just give a big shout out there to Steve Wright. Obviously, he's going through some stuff, and I'm pretty sure he's watching. So this one's for him, and then obviously Memorial Day. So it's a little bit bigger than sim racing tonight, but you know, you still come out and support. Definitely this one's for Steve. Obviously, like I say, he's going through a rough time, but I think a lot of us might have put a smile on his face tonight. So this one's all for him, and obviously everybody that served or continues to serve every day. Thank you.
Thanks, Brandon.
And that is going to do it. It's going to put another one in the books for us tonight. Mike, I cannot thank you enough for being up here in the broadcast booth with me. I mean, just having some ideas to bounce off of each other. It was a great time tonight. And you and I don't get to work together quite often enough.
Definitely not. It was a pleasure as always, Tony. Definitely look forward to hopefully seeing you next July for their what would you say it was, California King?
A King of Cali series where it's the LA Coliseum, 2 races at Irwindale, and then Kern County. So 4 races, 4-race series starting July 10th is the next time I'll have a partner in the booth for this series. But Mike, definitely looking forward to Homestead Miami this coming fall as well.
Definitely.
But that is going to do it for us here tonight. Thank you so much for making us part of your Memorial Day weekend. Again, thoughts and prayers going out to Steve Wright. Get well soon, buddy, and hopefully we get the chance to talk to you not in the non-too-distant future, but congratulations to everybody for surviving tonight. As we will be back. Now, are you guys off tomorrow night for Western States?
Yeah, they're off tomorrow night. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll be back, I believe, Wednesday. But in the meantime, it's Tony Trapasso. He's Mike the Money. Thank you so much for making this part of your evening. Reminding you, ladies and gentlemen, that as you walk down the road of life this week, and until we get a chance to meet again, do me a huge favor and don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.